We have huge news in the form of a Trump tweet, which is funny to say right now that a whole tweet can make an entire news video, but this is huge. Before we begin this video, guys, make sure to drop a like on it and maybe share it around. This helps a ton in terms of search and discovery for this channel, so make sure to do that, as well as subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the newest videos. Let's read the tweet and then we'll talk about it. In light of the attack from the invisible enemy as well as the need to protect the jobs of our great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States. Okay, so this could be the one of two things. Either Trump really means his tweet and is going to go about this, or is he just trolling and throwing a bone to the journalists in order to see them flail around while he does some other things which Trump is well known for. Trump will go bait the journalists with a ridiculous statement and then go confirm like 100, 200 judges into the court system, and they won't talk about it or because of the things he said and did. So as you can see by the replies, like Jake Posobiec replied with the troll face, which is an old meme, and this guy, when all controversies are dying down and the internet is calm, Trump and Twitter. So yeah, Trump likes to stir things up, so this tweet might as well be him stirring things up. Even though it's a 10-hour-old tweet, he retweeted himself, so I guess he's really going for that to annoy all the journals. From what I'm seeing, maybe it's because it's my Twitter. Most of the top comments are actually conservative commentators who are for it, like Nicolas Jake Fuentes, which is on the more extreme side of conservative. But yeah, people who are right-wing obviously are happy about it. This is the platform Trump ran on, not stopping immigration, but stopping illegal immigration. But I'm sure for a lot of people who would vote against illegal immigration, they don't like regular immigration as well. People are gonna call Trump racist for it no matter what, even though it's gonna stop people coming from Asia, from Europe, from Africa, from Southern America, Antarctica, Australia, everywhere in the world. And it makes sense. It makes sense to close down your border when you have a pandemic, which not only has an high unemployment rate due to the pandemic, so any immigrants or illegal immigrants coming in are potentially taking much needed jobs from Americans who will now do anything to get any type of job because they are struggling financially. So on the employment side of things, it makes sense a little bit, but it's not that big of a difference. So that's the first thing. The second thing is all of us in America and everywhere in the world, we're practically locked down to our home. So why, when we are confined to our home, we are opening our doors to others who are potentially carriers of this disease and can infect us? So it also makes sense in a pandemic to close down the borders. Like if you've seen Italy in the middle of February, I won't pull up an article because there's no time to search it in the middle of the video, but they had Hug a Chinese Day or Hug an Asian Man Day in the middle of February, while a lot of countries closed the borders. Italy were having Hug a Chinese Day in what you can only describe as virtue signaling from their politicians, and later on they went to had a huge spike in infections and being one of the leading countries in deaths and having probably the worst results out of this pandemic. So there's no time to virtue signal right now. This is kind of what they call wartime, and Donald Trump is a wartime president, and good for him on making that call. I'm surprised he hadn't made it before. I know suspending immigration doesn't necessarily mean suspending people who would come in, because you can apply for immigration, get accepted into the country, and still be barred in from coming back. But as far as I know, the US still accepts US citizens from around the world. So that's why they could be stopping immigration, because once you get that citizen status, you can then come into the US, which is dangerous. But that's speculating. I don't know the exact details. I don't know if Donald Trump has sealed his border yet to American citizens, because he got criticized for it when they said that he didn't close the border soon enough, but he was one of the first presidents to close the country, even though all his team advised against it. And once he closed this country, 40,000 US citizens came back from around the world, some of them from China, which is what Trump got criticized for. So if he didn't close his borders to US citizens, stopping immigration makes sense. Stopping illegal immigrations makes sense any day of the week, not only because it's illegal, but because they can come with the disease to the country and potentially infect others. And you're seeing the disease ravaging Europe because of their open border policy. And I think after, when we come through with this pandemic and we get out and see the other side of it, a lot of open border policies and left-wing lunacy would be cast aside, because people have now truly faced trouble where once they were only LARPing, which is my theory is that a lot of those white affluential kids who are part of Antifa, who are communists, are basically doing it because they are LARPing, which is live action role playing, because they are LARPing revolutionists, because they have no issues to solve in their day-to-day life. And now that they have the pandemic facing them, I think that they will see true hardship, and some of them will convert away from these ridiculous things that they have done or said, like open borders and advocating for communism or socialism, especially when we see how well our system performs thanks to capitalism. Like, I don't know about you guys in the US, but in my country, our supermarkets have lines just like the US, from the supermarket across the street all the way to another street, but it's still fully stocked. Nothing is lacking. We obviously have laws limiting the amount of milk anybody can take, and eggs and maybe bread, like basic necessities. But the rest of the items, you can buy a ton of them. They're fully stocked. I have like cases and cases of sodas that I bought. I bought like 12 or 16 pounds of steaks alone to eat at my home. A ton of meat, a ton of beef, a ton of everything, and we have to thank capitalism for it, because if it wasn't for it, we wouldn't have fully stocked supermarkets in this pandemic, which is something you see on a day-to-day basis in socialist countries, being understocked. So yeah, that's the entire video. Went on a side rant for no good reason on socialism and capitalism. But yeah, what do you guys think in the comments? Do you think Trump is really going to go through this, or is it just troll baiting the journals and he's gonna go do something else, so it will be underreported because people will talk about this ruling the news cycle for the next 24 hours, which is, I assume, what Trump is doing, because he retweeted this tweet, making sure everybody sees it, even though it was posted 10 hours ago. If you see it, let's see the original tweet. See if I can find it. Yeah, it's 11 hours ago. The original tweet. I don't think that they timestamped the retweet, and he retweeted it again to be on top of his feed. So yeah, he retweeted it like 2 hours ago. So he's probably trying to fill the news cycle solely with this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you like it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the newest videos. Thank you guys for your support. I greatly appreciate it. This channel slowly builds up. I'm purposefully not pushing it on the main SJW Central, just so we can build out slowly and build a decent community without forcing anybody into it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.